Morning you guys, it's Karen and I have got a haul for you today. Skincare and makeup. It's one of those things, do you know where you buy a couple of things from here, a couple of things from there, and you feel like you've not bought that much, but then you see it all together and you're like, oh okay, I did have a bit of a splurge. It's like that. If I look a little bit dishevelled, it's because I'm a bit tearful this morning. We have found another lump on Watson's elbow, unfortunately, and it's so hard to not just go into panic mode and think the worst again, you know. And it's not logical because the lump, it doesn't look anything like his tumour did. It doesn't look like his cancerous tumour. It looks more like the benign lip tumour he had, in that it's bleeding. He's bothering it, he's constantly licking it, whereas with his tumour, he couldn't have cared less about it. You didn't even know it was there. The tumour was kind of a shiny round bump, whereas this is like an open wound type lump. But it doesn't stop you worrying. So we're taking him to the vet. I'm taking him to the vet this afternoon, and hopefully they will take some cells. Hopefully they'll look at it and go, oh yeah, it's this, you know. It could also be folliculitis, which he's had on his hip and is from his allergies, you know. So anyway, so if you could keep Watson in your thoughts, I'd appreciate it. Okay, so on to, I've got makeup, I've got skincare, and one nail item. So I'll show you the nail item first. This is called Premier Gel. This is a builder gel and it's in a nail polish bottle, which is absolutely brilliant. So you can see it's very, very thick. This is a bright pink, much brighter than I expected it to be. And it's also looks transparent, which I wasn't expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be a bit more opaque. But this was recommended, I can't remember whether it was on Instagram or not, I think it might have been, but 2 people recommended this. And it was when I was showing the Madam Glam builder gel that I've been using to keep my nails this length. These are now my nails just with builder gel on the top. And Madam Glam is vegan and cruelty free. The only thing is they are outside of the UK, so I have to only order, you know, under £15 I think it is nowadays, so that I don't pay the customs charges and I have to wait a bit longer, and the shipping, postage and packing is more expensive. But somebody pointed out this Premier Gel, so I ordered this. Now the weird thing was, it was quite a lot for postage and packing. They had a massive sale on, and this was I think £2 or £3, but then I had to pay £9 postage and package, which was really weird. But these are also cruelty free. I don't know whether they're vegan or not, so I haven't used this yet. I'll see how I get on. It is a really pretty pink and I don't think I'll mind that, but the fact that it is so sheer, I don't know how I'll get on with that, but we'll see. So I'm looking forward to trying that because my nails will need doing soon. Let me show you the skincare items because 4 of them are from Deciem. I bought one from NIOD. This was a real treat. I think I'd said in a video that I was tempted to buy it, and I thought, yeah, let me buy it because my skin hasn't felt great lately and I wanted to see if this would change anything and if I would get the same results with this as I did last time, because I've only used one bottle of it, but I felt that when I used this my skin just felt lovely. I've used it twice since then and I do immediately get an amazing smoothing feeling, and the following day my skin feels good, but overall I haven't noticed a massive change. But I've only used it twice, so I need to continue using this and, you know, pay attention to how it works. Then I bought 3 things from the Ordinary. The first one is the EUK. I've talked about this before. I kind of use this interchangeably with the resveratrol and ferulic acid. Sometimes I'll use neither of them, but when I put an order in, I'll order one of them and use that. And so at the moment it's the EUK. So I'm using this in the morning underneath my SPF, but that means I'm not using my vitamin C, but I'm out of my vitamin C anyway. And I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm enjoying it as much as I thought I would. I got 2 oils, the Sea Buckthorn and Borage Oil. You can see that I've used my little label maker to put labels on here because they look no different, and so it's really hard. I can't read the writing with the label on it. They did tell me they were changing their labels. Like, I don't know, a year ago I had made that comment and somebody told me they were changing their labels, which they haven't done. But I got the Borage Oil and the Sea Buckthorn. The Sea Buckthorn was the first one I used when it arrived. I was like, oh, I can't wait to use that because it's another product that makes my skin feel amazing when I use it and the following day. And I forgot just how orange it is. It really does stain everything. My pillow was an absolute state the following day. It does wash out, but yeah, it definitely does go everywhere, but it did feel lovely. And I then used the borage oil, and my skin did feel lovely using this as well. The only thing I have found with oils, and I've mentioned this before, if you are somebody that gets watery eyes, and I mean like crazy watery eyes that take your makeup off, because that's what's happened to me. I've showed it before I've showed you pictures where I've put my makeup in the morning and gone outside, and like all of my makeup has disappeared from one eye and I look ridiculous. And it used to drive me crazy, but I found eye drops that work, so I've got a video up. But what I also found that was using oil at night caused me to have watery eyes the following day. It didn't happen with the Sea Buckthorn, but it did with this one. You know, the following day I noticed, not nearly as bad as it was before, but I did just notice that I was constantly, you know, like doing this the following day, and I thought, well, that's funny, I've just started using oil again because I haven't been using oil for a while. So I think I might start adding these to my night cream rather than using them on their own, unless my skin is feeling really, really dry. The final skincare item is actually from Primark, and it is the Balm to Oil Cleanser. It's a new, I think it's a new brand, but it's called PS Naturals. Maybe it's not new at all. I very rarely go into Primark for two reasons. One, there's not one near me, and the one that is nearest that I do sometimes go to, it's just always packed and the queue is massive, and I just couldn't stand in that queue for very long. But I was in York at the weekend seeing my mum, and they had one, and yeah, the queue wasn't too bad, so I was like, I'm going to go for it. But I saw this range, and this is a vegan, cruelty-free range, so that's what it looks like. You can see that I have used some already. I used it to take my makeup off yesterday, but yesterday I only had on foundation and eyebrows, and I used, I don't know whether you can even see that much, how much I used. I used a fair amount, but no eye makeup, so I can't tell you if this stings or not. And it felt lovely. I used my face cloth to wash it off, and you know, it looked like it had taken a lot of makeup off, but I didn't do a second cleanse. Normally I will do that, but then when I used my micellar water, there was loads of foundation still on my face, like loads, like I felt like I'd barely washed it. So I don't know how this is going to work out. I'll try it a few more times, and it'll appear either in, no, not either, it'll appear in my empties and fails, either as an empty or as a fail, but it certainly felt lovely to use, and hopefully it doesn't sting my eyes, we'll see. On to makeup, and the other item I bought from Primark was this. It's a brow pencil. I'm pretty sure this was £1.99, which is just crazy cheap, and it's that same brand, PS, and it says PS 3-in-1 brow, unless that's the Primark, the whole Primark range is called PS, I don't know, you can tell me. And I didn't actually realise that there was 3 things in here. I knew there was 2, so that's, you know, your typical kind of brow pencil, and on the other end is a spoolie, but actually in the middle is a kind of powder. So there's 3 things in here, which I was like, oh, that was a surprise. I was looking at it on the train. So that's what I've got in my brows today. I should probably use something a bit more red leaning, but I didn't think I was going to dye my hair again, so I got rid of all the brow stuff I had that had red in it. Typical. I really like this. I didn't see how many other colours there were. It was actually, it's really hard to find the colour. Well, I don't find it so hard now, I can see it there. This one is called Taupe, but when I was in the shop, this colour looked to be the same on all of them, so I don't know how many colour variations there are, but it's really good so far. I don't know if it will last throughout the day. What I did was I used the pencil to kind of fill them in. I find the pencil, as I've said about all of these type of pencils, is just not precise enough for me, but it seems to have worked out okay. It doesn't look too bad, does it? Normally what happens is if they're not a very, very thin pencil like the micro ones, I'll end up making my brows too thick. But I did that, and then I put some of the powder just on the end because the powder's a little bit darker, and used the spoolie, of course. So I did really enjoy that. Do you remember I told you I got 2 other items from No7? There was the 3 for 2 on, and I was buying 2 items so that I got over the £20 in order to get the £10 off, because actually you can, even though you're buying another product, you'll still be spending less by the time you get the £10 off. And one of the items I was buying was this, the No7 Stay Perfect Eyeshadow Primer. I've never used it before, but when I tested it, it seemed to me to be very much like the Smashbox one that I love. So it looks like it's got a tint, but it actually goes on clear. So you can see there's no colour to it when you put it on, but it felt kind of the same consistency, and I thought, let me give it a go. But then she said it's 3 for 2, so run and find something else. And I thought, right, I'm just going to try one of their mascaras again. And I was looking through them and looking for ones with a small brush and trying to remember which ones I tried and which ones I hadn't. And I grabbed this one, which is the Stay Perfect mascara, and I'll show you the brush. Lovely brush. And I do really enjoy it. But as soon as I started using it, I thought, well, I think I know why this wasn't like a holy grail. And it's because it's one of those mascaras that you need to use water to remove. I guess it's the fibre type mascara, tubing type mascara. And with those, you need to use just warm water and a face cloth. Well, of course, I didn't used to remove my makeup that way. I do now, so it should be much easier. I wasn't removing it that way the first day I used it, and it was hellish to get off. So I need to remember that I need to remove it. If I'm going to use this, I need to always remove my makeup in the shower. But other than that, it was really good. You know, it doesn't budge. It's on, it doesn't budge. And the reason I was buying a mascara was because, what did I use the other day? Oh, I've got another mascara. This is the Better Than Sex. And the reason I had an interest in buying more mascaras is because, firstly, I'm trying to find the kind of holy grail mascara, and I can't say to you that I found it because I haven't. And even the Maybelline one that I thought was good, that I didn't want to buy because it wasn't cruelty free, that isn't that good anymore either for me. But I had used, what had I used? I think it might have been one of the EUK ones. I'd used a mascara that I had, and I had got marks up here, I think because it was a day where I didn't have dark outer corner colour on. See how I've got dark colour there? It's not quite as noticeable if my mascara goes up there. But I had put on a lighter colour eyeshadow, I guess, or maybe I had mascara on and no eyeshadow. And I could see it all transferred up there, and so I was like, oh, I definitely need a new mascara. So I got the number 7 one, which is really good and doesn't budge and doesn't, you know, transfer, smudge or anything. And I bought this Too Faced Better Than Sex because I couldn't remember what I thought about this. I did try it when it came out, and this is just a little miniature one, so it's £12. So I thought that's not quite as bad, is it? You know, if you really don't like it, you've not spent the full price. I liked this okay, but it did smudge on me, so I don't know whether that was my reason originally for not liking it. It's a big brush, so not really my thing, but it does make your lashes look nice. But it did transfer on me. I had that same kind of transfer problem, so that was a bit of a fail. Right, I'm going to tell you about the nice things at the end, and I'm going to tell you about the two other fails next. This is the CYO Pigment Paints. Do you remember that sleek, I can't remember what it's called, but it's pretty much looks like that, and it's in, oh god, I thought I would remember the name of it. But anyway, when I wore it on screen, a lot of you guys were asking what I was wearing. I showed it in my favourites. I absolutely loved it. It's just a little tube of the same kind of stuff as this, and I bought it and thought, I don't know why I'm buying this. I don't usually wear cream eyeshadow because I've never had great experience with them. I've only kind of used them as a topper. But I love that sleek one. I don't know whether it's the colour or I don't know what it is about it, but I put a bit of a crease colour in, and then I put that all over my lid and sort of into my crease, and it blends really easily. It dries down and then it doesn't budge. It's just there all day, and I don't need to put a primer on underneath it. That's the only thing I've been putting on my lids, is that sleek one. And it's just been great for days where I'm like, I'm not wanting to try a makeup look today, I just want to have a little bit of makeup on, and it's perfect. It's everything I've been looking for. But I was going to buy some more, I think I said to you guys, and I went and had a look, and the other colours just didn't appeal to me. So I knew that CYO did them, so I chose this colour, which I love, and I thought, oh, this will be great if I've got another one like that that's so easy to apply. I don't know why it's easier than eyeshadow, and I almost feel like, you know, than powder eyeshadow. I almost feel like it looked a little bit more flattering on my eyes, even though it wasn't matte. But the fact that it was cream but it dried down, I felt like it was a little bit more flattering than powder eyeshadow that isn't matte. So anyway, I put this on and it looked terrible. I mean, it looks fine there, but the first kind of pass I did, I thought, oh, that looks like watery and patchy. You know, it was thick in some areas, thin in others. So I tried to blend it out with a brush, and then I put another layer on, and I thought it was definitely better when I put a second layer on. It sort of built it up a bit, and I thought, let's see how it dries, because I tried to blend it and that wasn't working. I thought I'll let it dry down and then blend it in with my crease. The blending was okay, but it then still looked patchy, and within a couple of hours it looked terrible. So unfortunately this Pigment Paint by CYO is no good. Let me know your favourite cream eyeshadow, because it's not an area I have really ever been that interested in. I tried the Laura Mercier twist up sticks and I didn't get on with those, and now I'm like, oh, should I try those again? I feel like they were a little bit dry and they were kind of in darker colours. Maybe I'm just making that up. But like a cream formula like this, if you know any, let me know and I will try them, because like I said, I found that it looked to me a little bit more flattering. I certainly got a lot of compliments from you guys. And the final fail is this. This is a Real Techniques brush, and this is, well, it doesn't say on it, but it is a blusher brush, 002, but it's a new range, and I just thought it was so pretty. I've already got one from the Real Techniques range. Well, I've got lots of brushes and have used them for years, but this is one from the Powder Blue range, and this one is a face brush, and it's just super soft, but it's a little bit too big for me. I don't like using big brushes really for anything, you know, for face powder, for bronzer, and I thought that this one looked like a smaller version of this, and it was for blush, and I thought I actually do but I would like another blush brush, because I feel like, see, when I watch myself back, my blusher is I'm never happy with it. I feel like it either looks like too much on one side, or not enough blush, or too much blush, or in the wrong place, or, you know, and of course I'm not blaming me, I'm blaming the brushes when it's actually probably me. But anyway, I thought, oh, perfect, I'm going to try this. And they're $12.99, this was $12.99, so it's not a bad price at all. I know they're cruelty free. So I bought this thinking it would be a smaller version of this, but I think this was a more sort of luxury range. So I got it out, and firstly I would say, it is plastic and it feels plastic. It feels really cheap to me. This one is also plastic, but for some reason it feels much more substantial. And maybe it is because, like I said, I think that this was maybe their luxury range. And then when I first put it on my face, I thought, oh, it doesn't feel soft. It doesn't feel like scratchy or anything, you know, it's not soft, but it's not soft, if that makes any sense to you at all. It's just like, oh, that's okay, but it isn't one you're like, oh, that's lovely and soft, you know. It's not like that at all. And I have got some lovely brushes that I use that are soft. Just wanted to compare it. This is the one I use, which is the Real Techniques contour brush. This is what I currently use for blush. Maybe that's why I'm getting it wrong, because I'm not using the right brushes for the right thing. But actually, let's see. Yeah, this is softer. This does feel a little bit prickly, just a little bit prickly, and it's not a pleasure to use. So this is a fail for me, which I think is, I want to say it's the first fail from Real Techniques for me, but I feel like there may have been one or two others that I've bought and they've not worked for me, but I've known that it's just me, you know. But this, yeah, it doesn't feel very soft at all, which is not nice. And this is their original, and this feels lovely and soft. Yeah, there's no prickling at all there. By the way, how cute is my new, let me show you this, because I suppose this was part of my haul as well. How cute is that? £4.99 from the range. I've got two of them. I've got, this one has just got all my brushes in, and this one here has got coloured lip liners, nude lip liners, and then lip glosses in the middle. I don't have many lip glosses. And I was so chuffed with them, because remember I had these horrible brown pots that have now got my glasses and pens and stuff in them. My final purchase from Boots was lashes, and there was buy one get one half price. So I was buying these. Oh, I actually thought they were new, but they're not. And it does actually say on it, was accent number 003, but I thought they were new. And I thought, oh, they look lovely, but they are just the ones that I always enjoy, which is these accent number 003. They're now calling them naturals, number 003 3/4 length. And I have got a pair on today because apparently I forget that I've got these, because I've actually got about 4 pairs, one of which I'm wearing today. But it's just one of those things where I'll be in Boots and there's an offer on the lashes and I'm like, well, I better get some of these because I don't think I've got any left. And then I'll get home and I've got some, and I've done that like 3 times, crazy. So I've got a lot of lashes, which is why I thought I'd put some on today. And as you can see, they're not crazy lashes. They're not, I don't think it looks obvious that I'm wearing lashes. It just looks like I've got some lashes. So I really like those. And that's just a new, it's kind of smaller packaging. And because it was buy one get one half price, I bought these ones. I feel like I might have tried these before, but I don't know. They're lengthening number 116. Because they're not 3/4, I'll need to cut them, and they might look ridiculous, but being as they were, I think these are £5.99, so these will have been £3, £2.99, so I was happy to give them a go for that. The final item I bought was from Feel Unique, and it is the Viseart Liaison palette. I don't really keep up on new palettes coming out, because even with Viseart, because I don't really know how to. If I ask for alerts, they tend to go into my junk. But I happened to come across this, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to buy it. Even though I bought the last new Viseart palette and barely use it, I'm not really that interested in it. But this one just looked so beautiful, and it looked like there was at least 2 options for me to find that perfect kind of purpley taupe that I'm looking for. Whoops. That is the names of the shadows, and it just kind of, you can put it back in, it's fallen off a few times. And nowadays I don't really need the names of the shadows because I don't tend to do tutorials. I can't think of any other reason you would want them unless you were on YouTube saying the colours. But these are the colours, and they're just absolutely stunning. I've only used it once. I used that colour there. I used a bit of that and that in the crease, that in the outer corner, and then I added a little bit of that into the crease. But this one will be lovely to use on its own, and I want to try this one and of course this one. So I'm going to use these over the next couple of days and see what I think. But so far I love it. So I'm a bit relieved, because I thought, oh, you keep on saying you're not going to buy anything more. I never say I'm not going to buy any, but that it has to be a bit different. And I can't say that I've got a palette like this. It's definitely a bit different. And I also like the packaging. I really like this packaging. It's really, really beautiful, but also quite sort of sleek, and I can fit this in my makeup bag. It's not a massive palette. So I saw a palette that I wanted, I can't remember who it was by. You will see it at my new at the drugstore video, but it was a huge palette, and I was like, no, don't get it, because you're not going to use it. Whereas with this, I will, because it's so nice and sleek. So this, I'm really happy with this so far, and I didn't think I'd be disappointed in the Viseart, the quality of the shadows, because they're always amazing. It's just down to whether or not they're colours that I'll use. So at least this was a bit more, I was attracted to the colours. The last palette I got from Viseart was just, it's Viseart, I want it, you know, I want to have everything Viseart, and that's just silly. I don't think I'm going to keep this. That's everything that I bought. I hope you enjoyed that. If I haven't given you a full opinion on these, then watch out in my empties and fails, because that's where I'll put them. If they don't work out for me, I'll put them in as a fail. If they do, I will use it up and they'll be in the empties. Like these two are being given away though, this CYO paint and the Real Techniques brush. They're not worth me trying again with. Probably the same with this. I might send this to my mum and see what she thinks. Everything else I will continue using and feed back to you. So thanks so much for watching today, and I'll speak to you again soon.